Howdy folks, Max Moger and OilFreeFun.com encouraging you to march against Monsanto this May 25th, just a couple days from now. The reason, Monsanto's a big evil corporation and they're playing God with our food supply. I wasn't really concerned about what I ate until a couple of years ago. I was in my late 20s and I started getting like chronic fatigue symptoms. I was tired all the time. I was sick all the time. I felt like I needed 10, 12 hours of sleep a night just to be well rested for the next day. And I changed my diet. I stopped eating genetically modified food. I stopped eating food that was heavily processed, laden with artificial flavorings, preservatives, grown with pesticides, and all that, and it all went away. I'm feeling a lot better, a lot more energy, and I also cut the fluoride out of my toothpaste and started filtering the water I drink. Simple basic stuff. But Monsanto, I had no idea how far along they had come with this genetically modified agenda until I stumbled on the work of Dr. Don Huber, Professor Emeritus of Food Safety at Purdue University. A couple years ago, he wrote a letter to the Secretary of Agriculture, Tom Vilsack, saying that the latest generation of genetically modified corn and soybeans was killing livestock. It was causing infertility, death, organ failure, and a host of other nasty conditions in a large percentage, about 30% of livestock. I'll put a link to that video below, but kudos to Food Democracy Now! For putting that together with Don. Kudos to Monsanto-free, GMO-free Hawaii, the Hawaii Coalition, led by Dustin Barca and others. You guys are doing a great job. Kudos to the Senate in Connecticut. Just passed 35-1, state Senate, mandatory labeling of GMOs. And so we're winning this fight against Monsanto. You have a right to know what's in your food. You have a right not to be poisoned by your food, right? Basic human rights. Food, water, security, shelter. I think it's time we started reclaiming those rights. And what better place to start than with our food supply and our water, Eat organic, boycott these genetically modified foods. Vote and protest with your money, not just marching, but, make your whole life an active protest against these genetically modified foods. And, stickers on the car, signs in your yard, tell your friends. This is one we can all get behind. And the science is out there. This is not conspiracy theory. Simple fact is, I'm not the most religious guy. I'm not the most spiritual guy. But I know well enough to not play God with food. To not be screwing with the genetics of plants and animals that we eat. Because you are what you eat. And it's interesting, like I said, I'm not that religious. But it's interesting how pretty much every holy book throughout human history says no to playing God, to screwing with genetics, The whole notion that we need genetically modified crops to feed the world is a bald-faced lie, okay? The problem isn't that there isn't enough food. The problem is there isn't enough money for people to buy it all. It's poorly distributed. And a large portion of it, in the U.S., about 40% of our corn crop goes to ethanol, okay? We don't even need ethanol. There are dozens of suppressed energy technologies that could significantly decrease our need for liquid fuels, for fossil fuels, if not eliminate it entirely, Free energy technology, magnetic energy technology, cold fusion, all of these things exist. They were all suppressed. I'm not making this stuff up, But back to March Against Monsanto, the 25th. You know, we got to start with this. As the states demand mandatory labeling, they're going to have to label. The word's going to get out more and more. We need mandatory labeling, then we'll get the outright ban. So keep fighting. You know, tell your friends, tell the farmers. We got to stop this. And, you know, if you're not familiar with how weather manipulation plays into this whole situation, you need to watch the movie Why in the World Are They Spraying? I'll put a link below. It turns out, in typical corporate government capitalist fashion, it's problem, reaction, solution, politics, economics, policy making, and covert operations. They create the problem, they create the solution, they get rich, and they have more power because we're dependent on them. So we got to stop this with the food. We can't let this keep going. You need healthy food to be a healthy person. If you're not feeling well, cut the GMOs out of your diet. Cut the processed foods. 90% of the corn and soybeans in this country is genetically modified, so cut that. Stop brushing your teeth with fluoride. Get a good water filter that removes fluoride, mercury, pharmaceuticals, and radiation. Okay? It's not hard, people. We got this. Y'all take care. One love. Peace!
We've got a life to live.